Candid what?
Like right before I start the actual show.
Of course, yeah.
I'll press record and not tell anyone, and so this would just be like recorded.
Yeah. Has it been recorded?
For a little, not too long.
Did you get me?
You
got
do
me.
You get me?
No. I think you got me. I wasn't even ready. Now I'm gonna have I was thinking about having a totally different voice.
Yeah, well, switch it up.
I go switch voice.
You can switch it up while I do the intro.
Okay.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us again. Back. This is, of course, interesting conversations with interesting people. I am your host, Yaquan Edwards, and joining me today is lovely, the magnificent, malevolent, marvelous, even, Maddie
You
Van
said
Buren.
malevolent.
Malevolent?
That's bad.
Isn't it?
Malevolent. Isn't it?
It's good.
No, but what is it? What's the name of Maleficent?
Maleficent? Well, she's like a queen.
But she's bad.
Is she malevolent?
I think benevolent is good. Because I always say I'm benevolent to people.
That's good.
I am benevolent.
But it doesn't start with a B.
Okay.
Well, I was going for alliteration there.
And I would like to say,
yes,
to get this out of the way completely.
Let's do it.
I would like to go by Madison. Madison Van Buren. Should have told you that before.
Yes.
But this is also so funny that I've never said your name.
Oh.
So, and I don't.
Yeah.
So it's Yaquan.
That's a good guess, Yaquan.
No, it's not. I'm white.
No, that's a good. That is. There's a lot more nuance and subtlety to your answer than what you'd expect. The correct Yaquan. Well, it's okay. It's kind of a thing. The way it's originally written is Yaquan, so that's like its pronunciation, but it's generally just pronounced Yaquan. That's like when my parents get mad at me, they say Yaquan. I'll be like, oh God, I'm in trouble.
To it. Yeah,
like, Yaquan.
I get that.
Like yo.
Where is that name from?
Ancient Hebrew.
Wow, are you
one of them?
Jewish?
Something like that, yeah.
Wait, really? Wow. Okay.
Kind of. I would say I was raised in a fairly Jewish-ish manner.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that that's like a Jewish name, I guess, like Hebrew.
Yeah.
But then again, I really haven't ever heard Hebrew names.
It's like Weinstein. No, that's Jewish. That's Hebrew. That's new
Is
school.
Is there a difference, Jewish, Hebrew?
Technically, yeah.
Okay.
The difference is that Hebrew people are like blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans.
Wow.
And Jewish people are like the white people.
Is that real? If I Google that, is that going to be the real
information
that's given
I'm pretty convinced that that's real. It's just...
Okay, well, if I fact check this later, I'll let you know.
Yeah, look up like Ashkenazi Jews. I think that's like
I've heard that word before.
Yeah, see,
I know about it. I'm white, but that's the tagline of this.
We're getting into like some deep
white.
Bible lore. I'm white.
I'm Madison Van Buren, and I'm white.
Hey.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. Glad to be in such a diverse room. Mm-hmm. Now it's officially diverse because you got you as the baseline and me as the...
That's so true. Yeah.
I love it.
Sure.
But you're a film major, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, how long have you been... Did you take any film classes in high school?
No, I went to a Catholic high school that...
Oh, Catholic?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I should have mentioned, I'm white and I'm Catholic.
You're white and Catholic.
Madison Van Buren, I'm white and I'm Catholic.
Any other tagline that you know about that?
I think that Catholicism says it all about me. I think anything else you need to know is just that I was raised Catholic. I think everything else about me makes a lot of sense once you know
Your
that.
two best friends were Hale and Mary?
Yeah. Well, so I went to a Catholic school, which it was like private, but they like had nothing. So I did theater there.
Okay. Theater.
Yeah, because we had like no like after school kind of extracurriculars that had like technology or anything like that involved. So basically I got out of high school thinking the only thing that I liked to do was have attention, which was like, you know...
It's different, yeah.
Well, because I was like in theater and I was like, I like attention so much. What am I going to do for a job? Like, what am I going to do in college? And I was like, well, I can talk, so let me be a communication major.
Right.
So I went to OSU and I was a communication major. And I did that for like 2 years at OSU, but I just didn't like it because it's like PR. I thought I was going to do PR because I wanted to be in like the world of entertainment in some way.
Like,
I just didn't know how, because obviously, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people want this, but like a lot of people are like, I want to be a star.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's like there's more spots to fill besides just like main actress.
Yeah, and since I was an actress in high school, I was like, I want to do that, and then I was like, wait, I'm actually not like good enough to be doing anything like that, and it's hard, and people would probably comment on physicality all the time, and it would just like spiral into a lot of body and face dysmorphia. So I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's not like it's definitely not the least toxic environment you could be in.
Yeah, so I was doing communication, like PR stuff, and I was okay at it, but it wasn't great, it wasn't fulfilling. And so then I kind of realized I had this idea that I did want to go to film school, like before that, like I really had thought about it, but I was like too scared, like I was too nervous, I had no portfolio, I didn't even know how to apply to an art school before that. And my parents were always like, oh, well, you can go to grad school for film. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then at my second year, I realized, I was like, well, to get into a grad school with film, you need to have a portfolio already, which I don't have. And then secondly, grad school is like the biggest waste of, it's like a huge ripoff. Like, I don't think anyone should go to
grad school. Is like after you graduate college, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's like, I honestly, like, honest to God, feel like if someone other than like your parent, like if someone is paying for your grad school, like the school or whatever institution is like paying, like, yeah, get your PhD or something like that, like do it. But other than that, I'm like, that's such a waste of like money. It's so much money, whatever else. And so basically I said, I need to go to film school. So then I transferred to Columbus College of Art and Design. I don't know what year I transferred, but I've been there for like 3 years. So
because film isn't like,
you do the math.
Math, I dropped out of math as soon as I could.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here right now.
Honestly though, but I think it's a good place to be. Film is it's one of those job fields where it's not about, like, when you get like your grad school and stuff for like PhD, doctoring and stuff, usually it's just like, oh, you have the degree, you go out and get the job somewhere. Film, it's not like that. There's not like a place that has to hire you to do a movie. So I think it's better to make the jump sooner to film school and stuff, so that way you can already have a network of people, because it really is just like the people you know.
I mean, you don't even technically need a degree to do anything in film.
Right,
You just
that's the
show
best
up.
part. You just show up.
That's like the biggest thing.
You show up, you listen to the director, and you don't take more than one coffee break, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I went because I'm an idiot, so here we are.
Well,
but I need balance. I need like structure to do things a lot of the time. I think it was really good for me to like have someone telling me what to do, because it's a really weird thing to like be told what to do for literally your entire life, and then suddenly no one is kind of telling you what to do.
Yeah.
That's why the thought of like going without school has always scared me, because it's like, oh, no one's telling me what to do. I mean, sure, a boss, I'll get a boss at some point, that'll be great.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm not in school, I don't think I would be as apt to be like creating on a schedule, at least when I first started. But like now, I'm more inclined to know what I want to do, like figure out my work by myself. Like, I don't need anyone holding my hand at this point. But like, you know, 3 years ago, I was like, I need school. Like, I need school.
I definitely agree with that sentiment, because it is kind of like that college time, especially, is when you're trying to like, you're not in high school anymore. You're out and you're in school, and you're trying to adjust from the same schedule every day to a new schedule, but it's definitely different.
Yep, for sure.
How do you think how do you think your first semester at college was compared to like your current one, right?
Say this question one more time.
How do you think your first semester compares to like your most recent one?
Oh, yeah, well, it's just a lot of differences, because the first time, like, when I came to, so I didn't go, so everything I told you prior to this moment has been a huge and utter lie. I've been lying to you the whole time.
Right.
I didn't go to film school. I went to art school that had a film major. And with that, it's like the program that you're dealing with is like, you have to take a lot of, for them, their general education requirements are like a drawing class, like a life figures class, and then a class for visual literacy. And so my first semester there was taking a lot of classes that didn't necessarily pertain to my major, but I really loved it because I never took art classes in high school. I filled up all my classes with theater classes, like theater and choir, just anything to be the most annoying kid there, you know? And like at this point, I had not had a lot of chance to kind of like explore a lot of art mediums, and so I got to, which was really fun. I'm not good at any of them, but like it was fun to learn that I wasn't good at any of them.
It was nice to kind of fail upwards.
Sure, yeah. So it was a lot more fun failing that than failing like a business class at OSU.
Yeah, that's like soul crushing.
I had fun doing it. I didn't have fun failing those like, you know, geography classes or whatever else.
What do you think your strongest like classes are right now? Strongest mediums, let's say.
Well, I mean, filmmaking is, I think, my favorite and like one thing that I feel like I can actually excel at. Like I feel like I think the one thing I am good at doing is like pulling out a narrative from things, which is why I like documentary so much for a really long time. For a really long time, I was more interested in documentary because I really liked having the story already there for you. Maybe it was a little like selfish and lazy that like everything could already be there for you, and then you could pick out the best parts and streamline it from that. But I was really interested in that for a long time because narrative is so hard.
It's hard. I wouldn't call that selfish related. I'd call that like wanting like preservation, right? Your like documentaries are just like preserving like things that happen as they happen.
Yeah.
I think like the lazy stuff is like kids cartoons on YouTube.
Because I think memes are really hard to make. I think TikToks are really hard to make.
TikTok is a beast.
Yeah, like I think it's really interesting that I don't think I could ever make a good TikTok, or like I don't think I couldn't have ever made a good Vine. I couldn't have ever made something visually that went viral, and that's really funny to me, like when I think about it, because
I feel like
I can make other things like these longer forms of media,
right?
I guess like that's just so crazy that I like will never do that.
You're just like, it's like I feel like I kind of have that. I do like used to make memes on the side, but I feel like I'm more geared towards longer form content. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we're just like old people, like we're getting lost in the wave. Like these new kids are, they're the ones who are making cool TikToks, and I'm stuck in YouTube era.
I was talking about that the other day. I was like, I can watch a TikTok, but like I don't have the need. I don't feel the urge to make one. But that's like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old thing that I'm thinking about. That they're like, I'm gonna do a dance today for TikTok, and I'm gonna have fun. Like, that's like what they want to do, and I'm like, I never would have
put a filter on it.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna have a good time doing this, and I'm gonna be a filmmaker doing it, and like I think it's really valid because it's like, I don't know.
It's fun.
Could Scorsese do a TikTok? I don't know. I'm maybe treading some high water here, but I'm just saying.
We're getting into some deep territory.
I don't know.
I think what Scorsese would do, obviously, is just make an entire movie out of TikToks.
Okay, yeah. But I'm just saying, would he make the TikTok? I think directors who could make TikToks. Quentin Tarantino could make a TikTok.
Quentin Tarantino could make a TikTok.
He could make a TikTok.
I would want to see the Steve Harvey TikTok, 100%.
Steve Harvey?
The Steve Harvey TikTok.
Okay, well, he's not a director.
He's not a director, no.
Yeah, don't just throw random names out here for TikToks. I'm sure, okay. I know he could make a TikTok. I know he could, but can directors make TikToks?
Directors make TikToks.
That's the question at hand.
What would an Ari Aster TikTok look like?
Oh my god.
That's the...
Screaming for like 7 seconds. How long? I don't even know how long TikToks are. I think they can be longer than 6 seconds.
Up to a minute.
Up to a minute?
I think up to a minute.
I think a full minute of screaming.
Like her Midsummer in the barnyard, just that screaming.
Just
oh my
screaming.
God.
I think that would be very fun and nice.
That guy really knows how to pull.
He could make a TikTok. Quentin Tarantino, I said, can. Scorsese could not.
Scorsese couldn't.
Sam Mendes could not make a TikTok.
I would want to see a Sam Esmail TikTok. Just for the.
He would love making a TikTok.
Dude, just for like the angles he would do.
He would love making a TikTok. I think he'd have the most fun making a TikTok out of everyone.
Sam Esmail just loves to. That man just loves to play around with the camera.
I like started watching Mr. Robot. It was one of those shows that like I loved for so long. Like I was like watching, yes. And then I got out of really super quickly. So I haven't seen the end.
Yeah, because I'm on season 3.
Oh, you're on season 3.
I've seen season 3. It's the Amazon Prime effect, where it's like they have all the episodes up until the new one comes out, and you gotta buy it or wait for the new season to come out.
So I got my mom into it, and my mom literally had to buy like rent the last season. Yeah. And she was like, "So if you want to watch it," and I was like, "Oh, cool, yes, I do." And then just like that, I got out of it so quick. Yeah. And so I haven't watched the end of it, but that's a really good series. I really, really like that series. Even though it can be a little cringy, too on the nose sometimes, but
I feel like for me, I know this is a mildly controversial statement. A lot of people don't compare these shows, but I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
Interesting that you are comparing them.
I think they're kind of cinematic in a sense. Mm-hmm. But I like the visual aesthetic of Mr. Robot puts it over for me for like as a mature long theme storytelling dark adult show about morally gray characters doing morally gray things that escalate.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think
is that a video? Is that a video? What? Comparing Breaking Bad to Mr. Robot. Is that a video idea?
I thought you were making a reference to the Rami Malek video. Do you know the video that I'm about to tell you about?
I don't.
Where there's a fan and they're like, "Hi, like, can I take a picture with you, Rami?" And he's like there, and he says, "Is that a video?" And he gets really mad. He's like, "Is that a video?" And then he like stops it, and people made like a ton of memes off of him being crazy about that. I don't know why.
Is that real?
It's real. Yeah, you can look it up. You can say Rami Malek, "Is that a video?" And he's like mad that it's a video. So I thought you were trying to say that to me, and I got really nervous because.
No.
That was a sad. It's very cringy to watch because like
that's
this fan like just really wanted to see him.
He was like, "I thought you were great as Freddie Mercury."
Yeah, exactly. And then he turns out to literally be his Mr. Robot character. Mr. Robot. That's not a video.
He's method acting with the morphine.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Better Call Saul. Are you watching Better Call Saul?
I literally have not.
Not? Did you see Breaking Bad?
Even though I love Bob. Odenkirk.
That's the man.
I love him. He's awesome. But
He's
I haven't seen it.
Charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Oh, this is a fried thought. I think he would be a good Doctor Who.
A Doctor Who?
Yeah, I think he would be. If he was ever American.
2020, who would be a good Doctor Who?
I mean, I like Jodie Whittaker, but
I don't know who that is. I stopped watching that when I was like 14.
I'm surprised you watched it at all.
I had like a little moment where I thought I couldn't understand, like my brain could not comprehend that it had so many seasons, and I was like wondering why it was doing that. It was
so many.
It was just a very like crazy thing that it's this like fictionalized like narrative TV show that had that many, like, you know.
There's that many episodes.
Well, for me to like wrap my brain around that, because like I never heard of anything like that, so I was like, oh, so it's like. It was hard because it's like the only TV shows that are running a long time are usually the reality shows or something like that, you know?
Or you just get like spin-offs of the same show. So it's like this is technically one long narrative. Yeah. Following the same
They really did some loopholes on that to make it that way.
I think that's the best part though. Mm-hmm. That's when the best shows are the shows that can reinvent themselves and not be stinky garbage when they do it. Sure, yeah. It's like longevity. You get good characters and new situations, growing, and narrative is hard.
Yep, narrative is really hard.
It's just like you said. I think you know a lot about like the narrative cycle since you're an editor too.
Yeah, I like to edit. I started off like really liking editing just because I had all the tools, because it's like really easy to just. Like, you know, as someone who grew up with a computer, it's really easy to get on the computer and learn how to do something that's just mainly on the computer. And so I would say all the time, I want to be an editor. And I was like really into the idea that I could be an editor full time. And I would for sure, anytime I'd edit for money, but, like, I was really like, yeah, let me edit, I'll do that for my life. And then I, like, because I kind of had this idea that, like, I could make the narrative in the same way that when you're editing your own doc, but then I actually, like, talked to some people in, like, the industry, and they were like, well, you're really just there.
You're just kind of...
Well, you're just there to make sure that the director's vision comes alive. And so then I was like, that's depressing. Like, I didn't know. And so then I was like, okay, well, maybe I have to direct or something then. And then I got into writing again, because I've always written just little things. But I really do like screenwriting, as freaking tough as it is to make a good script. Yeah. I like trying. It's fun.
It sounds like that is you, though. You like to craft the narrative and then bring it to life.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is, like, second guessing and, like, before you even start with, like, an idea. But I think I didn't realize that it would help, but I think it really does help to just watch, like, anything and everything. If not for inspiration, but really just, like, oh, they made this. Like, they really made that. Like, even if it's bad, like, it's actually even better when it's bad because you see it.
The fact that it got made.
Yeah, and they're like, you know what? Like, they made this narrative, like, and in the narrative is just, like, it's bare. It's not even that...
It's shallow.
Good, and they got it made, and, like...
Here I am watching it on my couch.
Yeah, I'm like, here it is. And so, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm inspired by bad media all the time.
Honestly, you can learn a lot from Birdemic.
I don't even know what that is, and I'm glad I don't know. That shows that I am on the right path, that I don't know what that is.
You're on the very right path.
And I never will. God. I will never know.
Okay,
don't say that word again to me. I don't want it.
This
Redact
is like...
it. Redacted. Not a word.
Birdemic?
No, don't say it.
It's like
done.
an epidemic.
Not talking about it.
But
nope.
with birds.
Don't know
Remember
it.
bird flu? This is...
Nope.
The Tommy Wiseau room of Hitchcock movies.
What?
Like the birds?
Yeah, I know the birds.
No,
but
it's a birdemic. It's a birdemic. It's really bad. Don't watch it.
Of course.
Or watch it.
No, or.
Learn how to not make a birdemic.
No, I won't, but thank you.
Are you sure it's about climate change?
It's out of my vocabulary.
It's about climate change.
Done. It's been redacted.
You said that you would watch. Now, we are moving away from Birdemic, just to preface.
Thank God.
You said you would be willing to watch anything and everything. Is that true?
Did I say that in this podcast?
I believe so, yes.
Redact it.
No.
Change it.
We're not canceling it.
Get it out. I want that out.
We're going to bump it and drop it.
I'll only watch it if a professor is, like, making me watch it. That's the thing. Like, I've watched a lot of things that I never thought I would watch, simply just because a professor walks in and is like, hey, we're going to watch this today. And I'll watch it a little bit.
That is, I do agree with that. That's a weird thing to agree with. I'm like that, I guess. Yeah, I wonder, do you think that's going to get picked up?
For sure.
Should we just...
Oh, we stop.
Okay. Yeah, you know, people get home late when you don't have any money to record. Insert sponsor here. And we're back.
Sorry, I'm just going to watch them.
What are they doing out there?
They're walking in.
They're just booling.
I wonder if they're walking in. No, they're walking in.
I wonder how oblivious these LED lights are.
It's your neighbor.
My neighbor?
Mm-hmm.
That I have some issues with that guy at the end of the street.
Sure.
I don't know who it is.
I'm sure you do.
It's a whole thing.
I'm sure.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
What's your experience like with animation? Just watching and even dabbling.
Okay.
Maybe.
I was really interested in 3D animation for a long time, so I took some 3D animation courses. I wish I could have taken more.
Yeah.
But I think in my last semester, because I do have a semester after this, that I'm going to be able to, I'll have a lot of free time. I don't have that many classes, so I am going to get in the lab and try to do some
like
more...
Blender.
Yeah. What do we use? We use ZBrush. Here are the things I've used for 3D animation. Maya, the ZBrush, Unreal Engine.
Oh.
Ooh, and Substance Painter. If you know Substance Painter.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've used all those. I'm not proficient at any of those. Like, it was like kind of like a one and done, like, okay, here's like kind of an overview kind of survey class of all these things. Yeah, but I was really interested in it. Never could I actually ever be an animator at any sort of time, but I was really inspired because there's this amazing event that happens. I don't know if it's like monthly or I feel like it's whenever, but it's called Multidult. Have you ever heard of it?
Multidult, I haven't.
Amazing event. It's called Multidult.
Where is it?
And they used to have it at Skylab, and it's hosted by Sarah Mae Schmidt, who's an animator. And so basically she would just bring in all of these really unknown, quirky, like indie, experimental animations.
Right. And you said Malt Lab?
Malt Adults at Skylab is like, and she
sounds vaguely familiar.
She actually got a teaching position at CCAD, and they actually have showings at CCAD. But when they would have the showings at Skylab, they would just have like 40s there. They would have like liquor, and like of course they're not carding. Like so for me it was like just such a fun event because it was like when I first got to CCAD, I went and it was like my first like, oh my gosh, this is like the kind of life that I would rather live than like going to block at OSU. Like I'd rather go to premieres. Yeah, and just watch like this weird, totally like sometimes disturbing, sometimes really funny, like sometimes really sad and like really good, just all of these experimental animations from all over the world. Like she got permission sometimes to play stuff that was actually playing in festivals, and the only reason that they gave her permission was because it was like 12 people sitting in a room. And so it's like they're like, oh, okay, I guess you can have it. But I really, really liked that, and so then that made me want to try 3D animation, so I tried 3D animation. I've done, like, storyboarding digitally, which is, like, that's a lot more fun, but, like, I feel like I get kind of weird and, like, perfection-y about that if I'm doing it there, because it's like, I can make it better, I can do it, I can make it way better.
Is that what you like in the editing room, too?
Yeah, like, I think... I don't want, like, that's the thing, it's like, for me, I don't want to ever say that, like, I'm a perfectionist, because it's like nothing ever comes out perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, if I said I was a perfectionist and then I showed you some of the stuff
you would go through and be like,
someone would watch it and be like, this is far from perfect, sis. And so I don't ever want to be like, I'm a perfectionist. Like, but I mean, I would like to like pay a lot of attention to stuff. I want to be thorough.
Yeah.
I think that's a hard problem for me when I'm trying to. Stuff when I need to get through it quick.
It's hard to like let yourself be okay with that like sloppy cut, but it's like you gotta work through it.
I think that's a really good skill to have, is kind of like pushing that away. Pushing the thoroughness away and going for just straight speed sometimes, especially for like jobs and things like that. Like that is really, really important.
That was me going like last month making videos on my phone. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, what cuts to make everything flow better? I'm like, nope, it's straight through it. We're steamrolling it. It's good.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm doing with this too. It's one long uninterrupted cut. No editing.
Shut up. I did not know that.
Besides just some tweaking a little bit. Well, like cleaning up.
It's okay because I did say things are redacted. So.
Redacted. We'll have to go back and actually redact them?
No, well, I mean, I think when I say redacted, it is actually redacted.
Okay. So
that's fine for you.
That must be like... I said
it, and now it's redacted.
Yeah, that must be some film school stuff that I didn't mind.
Well, I mean, it's just like...
That's how
some life stuff for you, you know? Yeah.
My life your life definitely sound interesting.
Oh, thank you.
That's what this podcast is all about, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I wanted to, so let's talk about your life for a second. You mentioned to me that you're in private or whatever. You mentioned to me you're working on a thesis. You have a thesis, right?
Yeah, in private, I have mentioned to you that I'm working on a thesis film.
Let me just expose you right there. I don't know how to phrase that.
Yeah.
I'm aware that you're working on a thesis film.
Yes.
And that is based on your experiences as a human being with a life.
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about your thesis. What is your thesis, I suppose?
Yeah.
How did you...
Well, sir, if you let me, I'll tell you all about it. Here we go. Yeah, I think it's a really hard place to start just talking about it. I think if I were to just like pitch it really quickly, it would be a narrative about two sisters trying to find like familial intimacy, like when there's a lot of pressures of the world kind of against them, and by world I mean like addiction. And I wanted to make a story about the Midwest for a really long time. I'm from North Canton, Ohio, and so that's like a 2-hour drive, and so I would all the time, I just drive back and forth from Canton to Columbus, and so I'd have these 2-hour drives, and they never really bothered me. I would just listen to music the most of the time, and I would listen to music and like look out kind of like over the rolling hills and stuff like that, and I was really inspired. I was thinking a lot about like kind of the youth in crisis around, not necessarily the story that I ended up telling, but kind of a story that was less close to myself. I was thinking a lot about like kids I think a lot about like how different the real downtown Columbus is from like German Village and like stuff like that. Like it's really sad, and I've only been around like a few times, and it's hard when you go to OSU for a long time and you see like all of this gentrification, everything like that. But it's not really like, I was thinking about that, but for me that wasn't like really like Midwest, like because we are still a city. So I was thinking about kind of like my experiences living in Canton and a small place like that, and I don't want to be here for any longer than I have to be, and so I kind of wanted something to just kind of like send me off in a way, even if I won't be gone for a while. But like I was thinking about that, and then my family kind of started going through like a really terrible time, and like someone in my family got addicted to hard drugs, like one specifically, and so I kind of had to like watch that. But it's not my like, it's my immediate family, but it's not my sister. It's my cousin's sister, and so I kind of had to watch her go through that, and so I didn't really know what to do, and maybe you can gain this about me, but I'm not a person who stays silent, and I'm not a person that doesn't say anything. I like to be proactive. I don't like sitting in situations. I don't like not talking. I don't like anything like that.
And so you saw someone close to you, like, that was hurting and in pain. You didn't have a way to, like, kind of voice that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what I could do to help. Yeah. Because I felt really, like, helpless. And maybe that's, like, a selfish thing to feel. I think about that a lot, of how, like, maybe it is really selfish to be like, oh, I can't do anything. Like, let me do this. And so, because at the end of the day, it's, like, really me feeling like, fuck, I can't fix it, and so what can I do if I'm not fixing it? You know, I have to do something. And so I thought about it more, and like over the summer, I just wrote this script that was kind of morphing that idea of like the Midwest, and then taking the idea of like being helpless in someone else's addiction, and I put the two together. And that's kind of how my script for my thesis film came about. And it was like, it just happened, and I was like, this is it, like, this is the script. I wrote it in like one sitting, and it's not super long, but I think I got everything that I needed to say out there. And I like read it, the first person who ever saw it was my cousin, not the cousin who is going through like addiction right now, but my other cousin, because basically if she thought it was like exploitative, or if she didn't like it at all, then I wouldn't have done anything. Like, I wouldn't tell you this right now, it would be nothing. I would make something else. But she really, really liked it, and so since she really liked it, and since I felt really, really good about the script, I decided to go ahead and start trying to make it. That's the story.
Yeah.
How that came about.
I'm gonna give you a couple of reasons why that's not selfish.
Oh, you don't have to.
Because you've got morals for the first part. You didn't have to get your sister, your cousin to read that, but you did, and you cared about the feedback. So the morals part, either you wanted to make sure that it wasn't exploitative or disrespectful or causing any harm in any way. That's a good reason to make content. You wanted to do it to help other people, not necessarily yourself, but any other person who obviously is going to see that video and think, you know, like, I'm not alone, or there are other people out there, or that there are people that are maybe like me in the Midwest. You've got your story, right? And then maybe somebody out there has theirs, and they can really, just being able to have that media, that piece of you out there for them to find one day, I think that does, and with the intentions and like the heart behind it, I think that does more for anyone, because people will really connect with that. It's not like you're just out here trying to make a buck.
Yeah, I think that's like, it makes it harder and easier. It makes it easier when people message me, or because I decided that for when I made an Indiegogo campaign for it, that the way that you can get people to care is if you tell them the truth. Like, I think that's the most important thing. Like, I think my best works have come from me being so brutally honest. And because I think people, like, with social media, the thing that they want most is to see people's, like, armors crack, and they want to see people fail. And I think that for someone like me, I've always found power in saying that I fail all the time.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that anyone can come to me and they can say, look at what you're trying to do. Like, look at kind of the persona that, like, there is no persona. Like, I'm trying to be as honest as I can all the time. And I think the best, like, work that I've ever made is from me being honest when it's embarrassing, even. And this is, for me, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be honest in this Indiegogo campaign explanation and how, like, it's affected me, and I'll just, like, take it from there, because I feel like I need to be a little honest. And so when I was honest, I got a lot of people who would, like, reach out and say things to me about, like, their own experiences, and that's really crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, good, because people are reaching out and trying to support you for something, and they're excited. But then it's really scary, because you want to make something really good, and you want to make something that those people can then see and either relate or feel comforted by or feel heard by, rather than feel exploited by or feel angry with.
It's weird, like, it's like this is a lot more than I asked for, but thanks.
Who, me? Me saying that?
No. This is you. Like you're with, like, please donate. It's like, oh my God, thank you so much for the help. Like, you're out here trying to tell my story, and you're like, you know, thanks, but this is more than I asked for. But
sure.
Thanks.
But that's the main thing. Like, I didn't want anyone to feel like, when I was, like, trying to get funding, like, I didn't want anyone to feel like that I was like, oh, thanks, yeah, I'll take your $10. Like, no, that's such a big deal. Like, that's such a freaking big deal for anyone to give any sort of money to anything. I didn't expect any kind of money. And for people to even, like, look at it and then and just, like, message me and be like, hey, like, I don't have money right now, but that was really, like, that I felt something. Like, wow, thank you. Like, I don't expect that. I don't expect anything from people. And so even that is just, like, really important. So for me, like, it's hard, because it's like, it was never about the money, because it's like, I'm getting funding, but I need funding.
You need the money.
But it's also, like, it isn't about the money when people are coming and they're like, hey, like, this, I felt something, thank you. Like, it's like, you're helping me. That's what we're here for, you know? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, and I think you've done a good job of not, like, because I know you didn't exactly meet your goal, but you still got, like, a sizable amount. Like, you should be very proud of what you raised.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really, really happy. And then people like Venmo'd me after that.
Yeah, nice.
And it was funny because I just got an email, literally today, I just got an email from one of the places that I intern at, and they somehow found out, which I really don't know how they found out, but they were like, do you still need funding?
Oh.
Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I think they're gonna like signal boost something, but the campaign's ended. Right. So I'm kind of trying to figure out how I tell them that my Venmo name is like Timothèe Chalamet, and they should just Venmo Timothèe Chalamet.
No.
I know. That was the dilemma. That's why I've not messaged back yet, because I don't know how to be like, yeah, I do still need money for post audio. It's Timothèe Chalamet.
Make like a Cash App or something.
I was.
Or PayPal. PayPal's official. PayPal's official.
Maybe.
Do PayPal. Maybe PayPal. That's.
I'm just so lazy. Venmo's just so easy. Venmo's so easy. But I do feel like it's less like official.
All right.
But yeah.
Timothèe Chalamet.
Yeah.
That's a good plug for
Are we
Venmo.
talking about him?
I want to talk about him. Let's talk about him. Tell me, okay. Preface. Timothèe Chalamet is an actor, right?
Yes.
Why he's very popular on Twitter?
He's popular everywhere.
He's popular everywhere.
He's everywhere.
I'm new to this. Is this like a new glow up?
Shut up. You know.
I don't
know. Don't even act like you don't know.
I did some research on Timothèe Chalamet.
What do you want me to say about him? Because I'll say whatever you want me to say about him.
I would say whatever you want to say about him. This is your show.
Like lead me in with like what do you want to know?
Okay. What I want to so I guess for the people at home, what I want to know first is why is he why is he popular?
Oh, I love him because he is just like the perfect boy. Like he is like the perfect boy for me. I just think he's the right amount of like emancipated.
He's got the looks.
Like he's the right amount of like sad looking.
Sad.
And like the
relatable.
Amazing, like big hair, like eerily pale sometimes. Boyish, like so boyish. Beautiful.
What was like your first time? What was the first time you realized you were in love with Timothèe Chalamet?
Thank you for letting me tell this story. So I watched Call Me by Your Name in theaters.
Call Me by Your Name.
Yes, okay. His like, I feel like that was like a breakout performance for him because he was nominated for an Oscar. Did you know this?
I don't keep up with the Oscars.
Don't pretend.
I don't keep up with the Oscars.
You should look it up.
I really don't.
I think he was either as like a leading or supporting Best Male Actor.
Best Male,
right?
yeah.
It might have been leading because I think he was the lead.
That'll definitely get eyes on you.
And he was actually one of the youngest in a long time because he was like 22 at the time, 21, 22.
Okay.
So yeah, at the time when Call Me by Your Name came out, and I went in the first half of the film, I was like, I didn't care. It was like, it was so slow. It was so atmospheric. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
You should watch.
Is that A24?
No, it's oh my gosh, it's Luca Guadagnino. Oh my gosh, I cannot pronounce his last name, but he did the new Suspiria. I really like him. He makes beautiful films, but like, it's very like, we're in Italy and this is Italy and now we're at the Italian like countryside and now we're like, you know, like riding our bikes like against the vineyards. Like
I've seen an anime that takes place in Italy.
Yeah, so it's very I feel like in the same way it's very atmospheric and it's very beautiful and it's very nuanced. Like it's like I think the biggest thing about it was in the first half it's very nuanced and like it's a relationship between an older man, Armie Hammer, and a younger boy who he's staying with their family for the summer, and they become attracted to each other, and so it's a love story between two men. And in the beginning, it's super, super nuanced. And so for me, I'm like, this shit boring. Like, I'm like, this is, I'm so bored. And then, like, the minute that things started to get, like, kind of hot and heavy, like, I feel like the narrative, steamy, it starts picking up, and it becomes so incredibly, like, gutturally, like, heartbreaking. And I just remember, like, after watching this, at the time of watching it and after, I had no attraction to Timothèe Chalamet. I was watching it, I was like, who's this? Don't care. Okay. Yeah. But after the movie, I literally wouldn't talk to anyone after the movie. I was sobbing because I cry a lot at movies, and I was sobbing. I put up my hood and I had to leave. I wouldn't talk to... I went with, like, 4 other people and I wouldn't talk to anybody after. I said, I have to go. Bye. Because, like, it literally, like, upset me. I was very upset by it. So I thought it was really good. And then, I don't know, like, a few months after that, I just kept hearing his name more. And I was like, oh, I remember watching that. And I guess it was, like, a delayed response to loving him.
Yeah.
Because afterward, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he was cute. And then I'm like, wait, he's too cute. He's beautiful.
And he was there the whole time.
Yeah, he was the boy next door.
I was blind.
Yeah, and so then I became like a really big fan of him. And then I think it was a really great moment in his career when he did Beautiful Boy. Did you watch or do you know about Beautiful Boy?
I haven't seen it and know about it. That's Steve Carell, and that I feel like that might have been an inspiration for you a little bit. Does that hold some truth to it? So I would actually say no, because I didn't think about it at all when I was writing. I was really thinking about my immediate life when I wrote that. But I haven't seen it, but I know you like Timothée, and I know he's in it, and I know what it's about. So
yeah. The Timothée Chalamet, his character is addicted to heroin, and it's about. And this is the reason that I didn't take from it, because it's primarily about a father, Steve Carell's journey through his son's addiction. Mm-hmm. And for me, my experience...
You're a couple more steps removed.
Yeah, my experience with heroin is that of someone at the same level. Like this, I didn't birth this person. I'm just related to this person.
Yeah. And
it's the same way for my characters that I'm talking about. They're sisters. And so... they're almost like a level playing field, you know, like, and so it's a lot different, I think, than, plus it's a short, which, you know, the whole feature-length film, just, like, dealing with, like, the ups and downs and the turbulence of addiction, but I really, really enjoyed the approach that was taken to the film about addiction. It was really interesting to me. I, like, watched Timothée, of course I watched Timothée talking about it one time, and he mentioned that, like, he said, he was like, you know, the script, like, you don't see how his character gets addicted. You don't see how it comes to him. You don't see any of the before. You just see that he's addicted. And he mentioned that it's not important. It's not important how it happened. It's important that it's happening right now because it can happen to anyone. And that's, I think it's a really good choice to, like, do that, just to show that, you know, you're not trying to say it can happen to anyone or this is specifically how it happens. Like, it just is here now and you have to deal with it. And so I really, really liked that. I learned that after I watched it. I was like, wow, that's really powerful.
I like that approach.
And so just the way that I wanted to tell my narrative is right in, like, the middle of someone's addiction, you know?
Okay. I feel like my Timothée Chalamet journey is Clam Helmet. Mm-hmm. I feel like my Timothy Clam Helmet journey is starting to mirror yours. Because I'm realizing now that I've actually seen another movie that he was in.
Which?
Lady Bird.
I haven't seen.
And you haven't seen that one?
No.
Wow.
No, I have not, and nor will I ever, I think.
That's a perfectly fine choice to make.
Yeah.
I didn't remember him from it. I don't remember a lot of things about it. I think
he was beautiful in it. I've, of course, seen, like, the screenshots and stuff.
Yeah, he was good in it. I remember liking him, but not enough to, like,
register that it was him. Yeah, for sure.
And then I saw the trailer for, what is it, the French Bulletin?
The French Dispatch. Wes Anderson.
Yes. I saw that trailer and I'm like, I recognize that. Hey, that's that pretty... Hey! Yeah. It's all clicking.
That's the man with the hair.
I know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Wes Anderson movies are always a treat to watch.
You like them?
I think so, yeah.
They're polarizing. I think it's like love it or hate it sort of thing, you know? You really have to be into him.
Yeah. I should re-clarify that. I should redact that.
Okay, redacted.
Wes Anderson's animated movies are always a treat to watch.
Okay. Isle of Dogs.
Yes.
You liked that?
I thought... not as much as Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay.
But I liked it.
I just don't like that he has this fascination with other countries and their cultures and things like that, but refuses to release something in another language. And I think you're going to see the same thing happen with the French Dispatch. It's kind of like romanticizing and emphasizing whatever is happening in France at this point in time, but they're all speaking English.
If you think about it, it's just easier.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is for the fact that he wants to be all-American with his cast, but then make a non-American...
hiring French actors is one thing, but Wes Anderson writing a Wes Anderson film in French is another.
Get a translator.
That's
I'm not saying that he should do. I just think it's interesting.
That is
a not cool way, but
what
I think it's a more immediate issue now that like we got that amazing Bong Joon-ho speech.
Yes.
Where he said that like it is a 1-inch barrier.
It is
of
a
subtitles,
1-inch barrier.
And I don't know. I wonder if anyone will say anything when this movie comes out. But I think about that. I think about like he's very invested in trying to like just have this weird
very,
like culture vulture kind of thing.
He is kind of just like swooping on stuff and just Wes Anderson it.
Yeah, I think Isle of Dogs there was like no excuse for a lot of
that. There was Isle of Dogs was, yeah, there should have been some more Japanese actors in that.
And just, yeah, all of it's kind of.
I'm a fan. I think we're about to start talking about anime because I'm a fan of anime.
Mm-hmm.
I think anime, Bong Joon-ho has made great point for anime is that it is a lot of good storytellings and narratives and characters just behind a subtitle layer for some shows. For most people. Right. And then the animation is off-putting to some people. Mm-hmm. But do you have any strong opinions on it or opinions?
On anime?
Yeah.
I tried to be a watcher for a long time. I watched a lot of Naruto for a while.
Right.
It was like funny because at the time I was watching like a lot of episodes and then I realized I was like, oh wait, I was really depressed. That's why I was doing that. But I was really into it because that was like something from my childhood, probably from like yours too. That, you know, it was one of those animes that got passed. Yeah. Like it got to be on Cartoon Network.
It was one of the big ones, yeah.
Yeah. And like in America. And so yeah, I really liked that. I watched of course, Ouran High School Host Club. Yes.
How'd I know it was coming?
That was good. I mean, this is for people. I've like done baseline. I'm like baseline anime person. What was the one? The swimming one.
Free.
Yes, I watched that one, and I didn't understand why nothing really happened. But is that like a slice of life one?
Free, yeah. Free is slice of life / yaoi bait.
Okay.
It's pretty boys doing pretty things.
Yeah, and I was not expecting that. I was expecting like some more drama or like something to happen.
There's a lot of anime that are just cute / pretty people doing cute / pretty things. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Sylvie started texting me. Speaking of her earlier.
What?
Her last day at Sylvie started texting me, and I'm like, it's buzzing on my phone.
Oh, you're seeing it. Oh, yeah. Okay, amazing. Yeah, so I was like, what? I was like, am I running my time limit here? No,
you're perfectly fine. Yeah, my experience with anime was I did watch like Cartoon Network stuff, but I enjoyed the Adult Swim stuff more.
Oh, I watched Death Note. That was another one that I watched.
That's a good one.
I really liked it.
I have Cowboy Bebop on my shelf.
Oh, I've watched Cowboy Bebop too. Yeah, dude. I like Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't watched it all, but like that was one of the shows I was like, I started watching. I was like, oh, okay, this is really nice. But then it's just I fall off from things so quick.
It is, yeah. I think the biggest point that anime has for now, especially, is that there are so many shows that are just like 12 episodes done.
Yeah.
26 episodes done. Like you do get like your Narutos and stuff that are still running. When did you watch Naruto?
I think I watched it in like 2017, 2018.
Oh, okay.
But I was like really into it, you know?
But the show has been running for so long.
Yeah.
And it's still running.
Like,
yeah. God.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of
I think that's like one thing that's like intimidating about anime, because like I think there was a point where I wanted to watch more and I try to look and it's like there's a million, there's so many, and some of them, and if you don't know it or you're not into it, it can blend together. Like it's like, oh, this is just all the same.
Yeah.
But it's like when you get into something, it's like, no, it's not the same.
It's like this is
but it's like when you don't, it's like you generalize things. And so for me, I was like, this is all the same. I can't do this.
That's me with reality TV shows.
Sure.
So I'm just like, it's all The Bachelor or The Bachelor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you don't like it, you're just like, that's it. Like, that's it.
And it's especially easy to do that with anime because like when there's bad things to point at, in anime, there's bad things to point out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you get that with every like medium, right?
Oh yeah.
So.
You can generalize anything.
Yeah.
If you hate it. That's the truth on this.
I used to think I hate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I just hate most things.
Is that one like a T-shirt from Walmart?
That's the first Minion meme that I ever made on Facebook.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh. You said you made memes earlier, and I was like, "Is this coming back now? Are we doing this?
No,
is this the truth?
It's not.
Don't lie to me."
No Minion. Hold up. No Minion memes.
Okay.
No Minion memes.
We're redacting it then. Redacted Minion memes.
Let's keep it in.
Okay.
I want my association with Minion memes on the record, just in case.
Okay. Well, I'm redacting mine, so.
No.
You were just talking to yourself.
Dude, speaking of Minions. No.
No. No segue. No.
I make shit posts pretty much.
Okay.
Like quick little like videos of use like green screen stuff or JoJo memes.
Oh, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay, I've never watched, but I've known people who are like very into it.
It's tough to get into. Once you do, you really. It's
yeah,
really
I think
fun.
I think probably someone tried to show me like one episode before, and I was like, I'm not getting it.
Skip to part 2.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It deals with racism right off the bat. Like, hey, this is bad.
Oh, okay.
So good morals, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I don't want to talk about anime because I would go on for hours. But what are some shows you're watching right now?
Shows that I'm watching right now.
Do people watch shows right now, or is it just
What's the deal with watching shows?
Yeah.
Does anyone watch them?
I don't think
These guys watching shows.
These people.
What are they thinking?
What shows do they watch? Do they watch shows? How many shows?
Are there shows? I don't know.
Are there shows?
Yeah.
What is a show exist?
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I am, just because I've been
working so much.
Sure, let's call it that. Since I've been working so much, I'm not doing anything serialized just because it's hard for me to get into that kind of thing right now.
Yeah.
So movies are really good. I haven't seen a movie in a big old second, except like if we're watching something in class. But for shows, my mom tried to show me Avenue 5 last night, or not last night, like 2 nights ago. Did you ever hear about that? It's from the creator of Veep, and it's like a comedy that's set in outer space. It's like a luxury space liner, and they get, basically the whole thing is they're getting like stranded, and they have like a longer trip than they expected.
Yeah.
And so it's like chaos ensues, and it was okay, but I'm not super impressed by a lot of just normal comedies anymore. They have to be like dynamic and like cinematography or something else for me to really be like, yes. But I'll also just pick, I've never seen an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, like one from another. Like I just like pick a random episode. Oh. Like I just do a random episode and I'm like, yep, that's it.
That's it.
And I'm like, okay, I get it, cool, funny, I like it, I love it a lot. I love Larry David.
I haven't gotten into the show, but I've seen the clips on YouTube.
I laugh like an idiot and I don't know why. Like I think it's so funny and I don't know why, because it's not my normal humor. Like it's not my day to day.
Yeah.
Like I talk like this. This is funny, or I make jokes like that. I just think it's really funny. I just think like Larry David is just like a funny dude because he's so like ornery and like kind of terrible, and it's just really funny to watch him like that.
Honest about how shitty like everybody is.
Yeah, he's just shitty himself, and it's just kind of funny. And sometimes I laugh at just how shitty the show is. Like, I'm just like, that's funny.
It is
I
mean.
think it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's funny. Like, that they are just, like, doing the least they can with the show. Yeah. And that's it. And that's cool to me. So, yeah.
Isn't it, like, kind of, like, offensive, too?
Oh, yeah, probably at some point.
Kind of offensive. I feel like he really pushes the bar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of it, though. Like, I like humor that toes the line and then just kind of like stomps all over it. Like, these boots were made for walking.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, I don't know, comedy is really hard.
Yeah.
Drama, I feel like can be a lot easier. Like, drama comedy is definitely 10 times easier where you can...
Dramedy?
Like, yeah, when you can, like, crack a joke after, 5 long episodes of being extremely dramatic, and then it's like, oh, this is good. Like, Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Like, I really was into Mr. Robot over the Christmas break, and before that, that's what I was, like, so into. But that's good because it, like... In the beginning, I think it's a little too serious, but then when it starts to get meta and, like, poke fun at itself and things like that, like, that's when I'm like, okay, I like this drama kind of moment, this, like, tongue-in-cheek kind of picking at it.
You poke some
like
holes in it, it starts to breathe more.
Yes.
Flows easier.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Mr. Robot was kind of, like, the last series that I was, like, really watching.
I feel like Mr. Robot has been influential on me just because I really pay a lot more attention to my framing now.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, I think the best thing about it is that the storyline and the cinematography, like, are just so, like, to the detail. Like, nothing is on accident. Nothing is, let's just do it like this. Like, and I think shows like that are paving the way to make, like, TV this more recognizable and more, like, important media, because I feel like, back in the days of, like, Seinfeld, Everybody Loves Raymond, TV was just there. TV was just there, and whatever, like, 90210, like, it was just there to be kind of ridiculous, I feel like, in a lot of ways.
It was just there to be what The Simpsons is now before it was making fun of that.
It was just all of it was a little ridiculous, but everybody knew it was a little ridiculous. But now, like, with HBO and Netflix and, every other streaming service, there's this real opportunity to make really good short form media. Like
miniseries stuff.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Maniac was
oh my god, I loved Maniac. Maniac was so good.
Maniac was really nice.
I love Jonah Hill. Actually, redact Timothée Chalamet. It's Jonah Hill.
It's been Jonah Hill the whole time. From Superbad to...
Yes! Superbad is a good movie. Do you like Superbad?
I like it.
I loved it. Like,
I watched
it recently. Like, I had never watched it before because, like, I was, like, too young at the time it came out. But I watched it and I was, like, laughing. Like, it was funny.
There's some good moments
in that movie. Maybe just because I was into Michael Cera when I was younger. That shows...
Okay.
It makes perfect sense why I'm into Timothée Chalamet now. I liked Michael Cera.
He's like...
That's the trajectory.
He's like French Michael Cera.
Yeah, he's like hot Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's got, like, the reservedness of him, with the kind of, like, meek face.
He's got, like, the indie-ness quality to him, like, if you can be indie in this day and age.
But he's less simpy.
Sure. But if you ever watch Michael Cera's Hot Ones interview, he is not a simp, I'll tell you. In real life, he is a full... True human being.
True alpha.
Yeah,
King.
He's alpha. He is so alpha.
No,
he doesn't even know it.
I genuinely like Michael Cera.
He's awesome.
I was kind of like a Michael Cera fan too. I watched. Was it around the time I saw Scott Pilgrim? Maybe. I can't remember. I remember seeing him a lot and stuff as a kid.
I was so into it. I read the Youth in Revolt books. Have you ever read those?
No. I read the Scott Pilgrim books.
Okay.
Because they're comics.
Youth in Revolt. You should look it up after this if you don't know anything about it.
I might. I will.
It's derogatory. It's complete filth. Like, it's filthy. And I read that when I was, like, 14.
That's the one where... I remember the trailer for that. He, like, pushed his car off into the water to fake his death.
And he had, like, that... And he had that, like, it was, like, his alter ego, Nick Twist.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so it was, like, just Michael Cera with a mustache.
Yes, I remember.
And, like, a really bad mustache.
I remember that, yes.
But I loved it. As soon as I found out he was starring in it, I bought the books and I read them.
Are they good?
I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you. As a 14-year-old, I can't say anything was good. I was also watching Jonas Brothers fanfic that was on YouTube.
Jonas Brothers fanfic.
Do you know, like, I mean, did I have taste?
No. I don't know, because, like, I'm kind of in a similar boat where, like, I read a lot of the Cirque du Freak books just because I saw there was a movie out for it.
Okay.
But I don't know, I couldn't tell you if they were good.
Never even heard of that.
Cirque du Freak.
Never even heard of that.
John C. Reilly was in the movie adaptation.
John C. Reilly. Okay. Nice.
He was so miscast. It was
I'm like
John C. Reilly was playing the mentor vampire. and this is like a 13-book series about a kid.
John C. Reilly from Step Brothers.
Yeah. He was playing.
I love it. He's so good.
He was playing a vampire in a role about a kid who got turned into a vampire. I think ate his sister and moved to a vampire monster people circus. Mm-hmm. And bad things happen.
Redacted Jonah Hill. Now John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly. What's it called? What is that show with Steve Brule?
With who?
Steve Brule. Dr. Steve Brule.
No.
His Tim and Eric.
Oh, yes. I've never really seen it, but
Me either.
I know what you're
So that's why I don't know what the heck
Maybe
I'm
I've
talking
seen
about.
one episode on Adult Swim, like just kind of there. But yeah.
Adult Swim was such I think Adult Swim was such a nice, like, it was memes before memes were a thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, they were so willing to just like explore with.
They were smoking weed before anybody else.
Oh my! They were doing acid before anybody else. Dude, Metalocalypse.
Adult Swim discovered weed. I think
they discovered weed. They gave it to kids to make them watch. Stay up late and watch their TV shows.
They were the original like stoners.
And then they said, "All right, guys, we just bought a freak ton of anime."
Yeah. No, like, let's do it.
Like, you guys are stuck now.
Yeah.
You want Dragon Ball Z? You're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Pods love Pods love anime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Adult Swim was like, what was that? Robot Chicken, Family Guy, American Dad.
Oh my god, what's the Squidbillies?
Oh ew. Squidbillies. Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Wait, I'm going back to my previous answer. I really like BoJack Horseman. I didn't watch the end yet. I didn't watch the end yet, but I love BoJack.
In it.
Oh, I know. Everybody's in it. Everybody's in it.
Zach Braff's in it.
Yeah. But everybody else, cool. But I love Scrubs. Just kind of hate Zach Braff now, but
yeah.
You know.
But Scrubs, I do go back to Scrubs sometimes.
Scrubs is amazing.
It's so goofy.
Scrubs, I think Scrubs, changed my brain, in that it was the first thing that I'd ever seen that was just so sentimental, but so it could be so goofy in 1 minute,
yes.
and then talk about the meaning of existence in the next when someone would die unexpectedly, and it was just such there was such it was really good when it was good, because it was naive and it was coming of age.
It was
and then when they kind of had to get to the age where they had to have sense and be kind of not actually know their morals and things like that. At that point, it got not fun anymore.
You have to be a doctor now, okay?
Yeah, you literally have to be a doctor. You have to know right from wrong, and you have to not be struggling and navigating anymore. This is it. But before that point in time, when it rang true in so many different ways. I love Scrubs.
The first drink I ever ordered, underage. So first drink I ever ordered was an apple teeny.
Okay.
I got it.
Yeah.
So she must have thought that I knew what I was doing.
Let's do it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Apple teeny, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think BoJack Horseman is in the same vein as something that, where
100%.
It's so quickly from
being
so melancholic and sad to something kind of ridiculously funny.
And I think the writing structure is more similar than I'm thinking now, because at the same time there's also mild long form storytelling happening, and because when they start Scrubs they're residents, but by the end they grow and change. Not to the same extent, obviously characters die in BoJack, but
and I think the character of BoJack Horseman is so it's kind of, I feel it's just a more meta kind of
they weave a lot of one-off adventures with
but they're very he's a very he's a very
he's the start of a conversation.
Tried character. He's been through it all, whereas the character of JD is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it's really fun to start a series with someone like that, and then get to the end of becoming the realization. You know.
I will say I do like the ending of BoJack Horseman.
Don't tell me.
So we won't talk too much about the ending, obviously, but the show is it's so hard to describe, because you start describing it and it just sounds like nonsense. Mm-hmm. But it's about a horse who used to be an actor on a Full House parody inspired sitcom that it lives in LA. Mm-hmm. And then they steal the D from the Hollywood sign and becomes Hollywood. Yeah. And I feel like I'm just eating mushrooms as I'm saying this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like they had to do a lot of crazy stuff to make it work as an animation because.
And it works.
Because if it wasn't, like, why would it be animated? So they were like, let's do everything we can, because this is animated, and that's why I think I'm also interested in animation because now is like the perfect time. I mean, I think it's the first time in like our kind of, I don't know, century or like whatever time period that we're living in that animation is becoming more respectable.
Yeah, in America for sure.
Yeah, like it's becoming a respected art form and it's becoming not just for kids.
I'm so glad that, and you see this with we're getting a lot more like anime movies in America because theaters are actually starting to open up to the idea of people want to see cartoons in theaters that aren't just Disney cartoons.
Yeah.
And like Disney still has its place, but like I'm so glad that people are
5.
like into the Spider-Verse.
Oh my god,
Such
I love
a good
Into
movie.
the Spider-Verse. I fucking
Such
love
a
Into
good
the
movie.
Spider-Verse.
You know I have the 4K over there.
You know I have
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. Really, really great.
The level of detail in that movie that you can't get with live action.
Dude. They literally like created a new animation style just to make that.
Do you know what my favorite scene in that movie is?
What?
It's when Miles is getting out of bed and he's checking that crock pot and you see the steam lines animated up from the crock pot.
Oh wow, okay.
And
I didn't notice
when he throws the bagel and it's like bagel.
Yeah,
effects,
just little things.
All those are my favorite parts of the movie. It's like the little details they didn't have to put in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. You probably know this, but they have different characters from different time periods of the comics running and doing things at different frame rates.
Yes,
just,
they do.
Mirror that time.
To mirror the time and their animation style.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's so cool. They didn't need to do that.
And like all the lighting is different. Spider-Noir gets his cape from nowhere.
Oh yeah.
The music sounds different.
Different be different, you know?
It do be different like that, though.
It do be different, though.
Like, you don't be me and I ain't you.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's all good.
God, I saw that movie 4 times in theaters.
Really?
Yes.
That's definitely a movie that I feel bad for anyone who didn't get to see it in theaters. Because it's a spectacle.
It is I'm so mad at myself for missing out on Dunkirk in theaters, but I think that makes up for it.
Yeah, I think Dunkirk was more like an ear experience, whereas like the surround sound of the bombs and things like that, you know, because I did see it in theaters.
I think I even saw that in 3D.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could have seen that in 3D.
God.
Like not Dunkirk, Spider-Verse.
The Spider-Verse.
I don't want to see Dunkirk in 3D.
Because like that movie's honestly made for 3D, especially with all the effects and like watching the end credit scene where it's like the Spider-Man trippy psychedelic stuff.
For sure.
I love how they just like went crazy with that movie.
It's good. What?
You just turned into like a robot there for a second.
It's good. That's
good.
it.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good talk. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm just wondering, how do we like
wrap this up?
Wrap.
We done? Let me ask you one more question.
Yeah, ask away.
Do you have anything to plug?
Do I have anything to plug? I mean, yeah, my thesis film, which to me is more than a thesis film. It's a short film. It's called Portrait of My Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be screened at the end of the year event for seniors of CCAD, but I think that I'm also going to try to get it to be shown at Gateway, like a private screening kind of thing.
You could do Gateway for sure.
And so you will have to plug it afterward when I get that figured out. Because for me, because it's going to go to the festival circuit, it will not be available for the public.
When are you planning on having it done and in the circuit?
April 24th is the day that I have to get it done. Is my date for my first showing.
Oh yeah,
of it.
We'll just get you back for another episode when it's ready to release.
Yeah, so but the thing is, like, everybody who donated a certain amount, they do get the private Vimeo access link, and so they'll get to have that and see that whenever. But for everybody else, they will probably have to wait until either the Gateway screening or if film festival is coming up and it's around, then they can see it if it at that point gets accepted. Yeah. But
I'm gonna expose myself. I am donating $2.
You only donated $2, sir? Well, maybe we can work something out with you giving me this promo that you can have a
press pass. Can I get a press pass?
You can maybe get the private Vimeo link.
This is the end game.
But not everybody who donated $2 can, is what I'll say. You know, they're not giving me a podcast like time. So, but if you do, you can get the private Vimeo.
Be expendable. Come on.
Yeah. Like, if you give me a podcast to talk on, then I will give you the private access Vimeo.
All right. So you got your thesis film going on. Any other projects you're working on? Big things, small things, little things?
I'm really, really just focused on this short film.
Great.
And anything else is just straight up on my Vimeo. Madison Van Buren, MadisonVanBuren.com is where you can find my work and my links to all my stuff.
Is there anywhere we can get in touch with you for constant updates?
Yeah, my Instagram is Maddie Van Buren, Maddy. If you want to follow me on there, I try to be as fun as I can. I could out myself because I don't care about Instagram at all. I care about Twitter.
Oh.
So if you can follow me at Lil404error.
Lil like the rapper?
Yes, Lil404error. Please follow me because I only need Twitter followers. I don't need Instagram. That doesn't matter to me.
All right.
But Redacted. Yeah, I have I write sometimes, so I have one poetry anthology out that you can view through my website. I'm thinking that by the end of this project, Portrait of My Midwest, I'm going to release a companion anthology of like things that I've written over my experience after the fact. So that'll be out after that, but you'll probably just be able to view that on my website.
That'd be a good read.
Yeah, so...
Right.
That's it. I'm done.
My Instagram is @yikes, YAIKSE. And thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us a review on Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever you're listening to. And stay interesting.
Tell me that you hate me.
I hate you.
Not you. Them.
It's too late.
Oh no.
Well, oh god,
Hi.
what is this?
Sorry, someone just sent me a video.
Spooky.